and the pure fear and panic in your heart when you realize that nothing happened. Uncomparable. We didn't really travel a whole lot growing up. When I was a kid, we did a Florida trip a couple of years because my grandparents lived in Florida, so that was kind of like an easy trip to take. And when we did, it would be like a halfway from Maine to Florida, bit of a haul. So we would take, one night in an Econo Lodge, and it was the four of us. It was my parents, my sister, and me. So that hotel experience, motel experience, a little bit different. When I got older, I traveled a bit more, and like going to conventions in other cities, other states. And I actually had a job where I was a regional marketing rep for an urgent care company. And that would be, I would go to the city where these urgent cares were, and I would, hang around and go to like businesses and schools, places like that, and hand out promo materials and try and get people in those organizations and whatever to go to this urgent care. And some of them, were more than a day away or more than a half day away. So you'd have to travel, stay overnight, and then you would come back. And so I really started to appreciate a good hotel at that point. And it's really easy to tell a good hotel from a bad hotel. And so I've had a few run-ins with some good hotels and a lot more run-ins with some bad hotels. Everybody knows about the Georgia trip. We'll be discussing that in another time. Probably the worst hotel trip ever. But there's one thing that is a crime. You go into a hotel and they give you a lot of different stuff. You have a certain number of towels and soaps, shampoos, toiletries, that type of thing. But there's one item that I think it's a crime that hotels don't offer. And it's a thing that you don't know you need it until you need it. And when you need it, you don't want to call somebody to have them help you get it. And I've never seen a hotel have it. And that is a plunger. And I'm sure everybody listening is rolling their eyes and going, if there was a plunger in that hotel room, would you want to use it? And my answer is a resounding yes, if I needed to, because there is nothing worse. Just imagine it in your head. I want you to close your eyes. I'll wait. Close your eyes. Now imagine you're at a hotel and, you went out to eat and you've had a long day of driving, right? You're tired. You just ate. Your stomach starts to feel a little way. You know what I'm talking about. And so you got to go use the bathroom, and you sit in that bathroom on the toilet, and you demolish that toilet. We know it happens. Not here to judge. This is not the sit down judge room. This is sit down, stand up. And you hit the button, you go to flush it, and nothing happens. And the pure fear and panic in your heart when you realize that nothing happened. Uncomparable. And so then you have to make that call to the front desk, and you have to take that walk of shame, and you pick up the phone and you dial 0, and you say, the guy at the front desk says, "Hello, front desk." And you say, "Yeah, you guys have a plunger there?" Because there's only one reason that you would need a plunger. There's literally only one reason. There's no other reason that you would possibly need a plunger other than I just demolished your toilet with a dirt snake you have never seen before, the size of which you have never seen before. And the guy on the other end, the front desk worker is going to just judge immediately. So I think just as a courtesy, Dollar Tree has them. They just need to provide a plunger. I now carry thanks to the Dollar Tree, now carry a emergency plunger in my trunk at all times, because you just never know when you're going to need it. A couple years ago, usually for Scarefest, which is in October in historic downtown Lexington, Kentucky, usually I will stay with also Chris, the other half of the FWB podcast with me. And he had some family event. I don't remember if it was a wedding. I don't remember what it was. But he had a reason why he couldn't go to Scarefest. So I got a hotel. I stayed there. And when I first got there, I made a reservation online. I like to reserve online when I can. I feel like that's just a much safer way to go. So reserved, got it. They give me the key card. And I go to my room, hit it, doesn't open, it doesn't work. And I go back and I say, yeah, key card doesn't work. And they say, oh, just give it a try. It'll work. And so I go back, like they give me another key card and they say, I promise it's gonna work. And I go back there and it doesn't work. And so I go again and I say, if we can't get this work, can you just move me? Can whatever? And they say, well, we're pretty booked up, so we'll send the maintenance guy over. So about 10 minutes goes by and the maintenance guy finally shows up and he's like, sorry, man, I got like 8 other rooms that are asking me to do stuff. I'm the only maintenance guy that's here, which should have been a huge red flag for me to just get a refund and go somewhere else when you have one maintenance guy and they've got so many rooms that need maintenance. But neither here nor there. So he starts working on it. He pulls the whole door apparatus apart, like where you drop the key card in, pulls the whole thing apart, opens the door, and he's like, you can go in, set your stuff. It's going to take me just like a couple minutes to do this. I'll be done. Move on to the next one. And I'm like, cool. So he's working on it. And, he's asking me questions and, why are you here in Lexington? I say, oh, I got this convention. And he's like, oh yeah, man, that's cool. I got to work. That'd be fun to go to, but I got to work. I'm like, I understand. Not going to give you a pass, but I understand. Good try. And so I asked him, like, how long have you been in Lexington? And he's like, oh, a year. I hate it. This place sucks, blah, blah, blah. Really, really selling the town. So when the city of Lexington put up an ad for city ambassador, I was like, dude, you really need to apply for that because you are selling the hell out of this town. He says, like, there's nothing fun to do. Everybody's mean, whatever. Not a good city representative, but good guy. He was fun. So he's like, they call him and he's like, man, I gotta go to this other call real quick. Can I come right back? And I was like, dude, no problem. Like, take your time. I'm just in here. I got my shoes off. I'm gonna get some food when you get done. And, watching, friggin' whatever true crime is on the TV. So about 10 minutes later, he comes back and he's working on it. And he's like, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. He's like, let me call the front desk and get you moved to another room. And I'm like, asked you guys to do that about 45 minutes ago, decided that you didn't want to, but now we will. So they moved me across the hall and like 4 rooms down, same everything. But so I go out, get the new key cards, move everything in, and the guy just kind of like abandoned the room. He just left it open until the next morning. Like when I left, it was still open. But so I guess he didn't finish it. But so while I'm in there, that night, I'm I come back from the show, the convention and everything, and I'm tired, and it's they're doing like a Friday the 13th marathon, so I'm watching some movies, and it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go to bed. So I start to go to bed. I've already got my shower, everything's good. I'm in my pajamas, I'm ready to go. It's a 2 beds. There's 2 beds in the room, and so I'm in one bed, and I'm just about to sleep. And it's quiet. It is completely quiet. And I hear this. like this chattering kind of thing, like something moving coming from the other side of the room. And I'm like, please stop so I can go to bed. And happens again. And I'm like, so I turn on the light and I look over on the other bed, and there's some bug I have literally never seen before, never seen since. It is on that bed. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm on the first level, but I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like halfway down the hallway. I don't want to have to get the stuff, like try and get it out. So I look around the room and I'm trying to figure out what to do. It's moving real slowly up the bed. Not in the bed I'm in, but it's on the other bed. So I find one of the plastic or the paper coffee cups that they give you, like the complimentary coffee cups. And I'm like, all right, this is the only thing I can think of at the time. So I unwrap, because they put it in like a little bag. So I rip the bag open and I take the cup out, and I walk up and boom, I trap it right there on the bed. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to deal with it tomorrow. It's contained. We're good. And so I set it down and I wait a second. Nothing happens. I'm like, I'm going to find like a piece of paper or something. I'll slide it underneath, put the thing on it. We'll take it outside the next day. It works. I go to bed. And the next morning I wake up and I'm running late. And I'm trying to put myself, because that was like the last night. And then I went home the next morning. And I had to make an extra stop because when we got press passes, they gave me 2 press passes. And also Chris was coming back into town. So I was like, dude, I'll just drop this pass underneath your welcome mat and at your apartment on my way out of town. And then when you get back, if you get back in enough time, you can just go. You can go to the convention for a little bit and have some fun. So it was out of the way. So I went back, I backtracked to go to his apartment and then left town. And so I was like, man, that's going to add like an extra 10 or 15 minutes to my trip. I'm already a little bit behind. And as I pack up all my stuff, like I'm packing up, I'm hurrying. And all of a sudden, I look over and I see that paper cup that's on the bed. And I'm like, oh, I don't really have time to deal with this. I just don't have time. So I do what any adult, responsible hotel visitor would do in this situation. I wrote a note that said, "Dear hotel worker, there is a bug inside. I am so sorry." And I wrote my name and I ripped off that paper and I set it next to the cup, and then I left. And I have never been back there, and I don't know what happened. So hopefully that person did not get eaten by that gross bug, and everybody worked out. Everything worked out fine, and everybody was great. So, though that is one of my, that I don't tell a whole lot, hotel stories. I am Chris with TN2M Shows. Make sure to like and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with somebody. And make sure to check back for more sit-down stand-ups. And also wrestling memes. Who wrote that shopping list with new shows coming next year. Thanks, guys. Bye.